wearing that same old ragged dress, but when they get weary, try a little tenderness. That's all you got to do now. See, y'all too young to know whether I just made that up on the spot or not.
That's right.
Literally.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. Okay, stop. Y'all go in there.
Yeah, sometimes I be quoting songs, and somebody, and if a real young person, they say, "You need to write that down before you forget it." I say, "I ain't gonna forget it."
Yeah.
Who's next?
Oh, y'all got any questions? I know you might got one for sure. If you got one.
I got questions about Diane Ragsdale.
Giant.
Yeah, was she talking about heading towards the direction of city council when she was with the Black Panther Party, or was that something that kind of like was an individual thing for her?
Without going into any meetings or anything like that,
Yeah.
that was a group decision.
Okay.
That was a group decision. We made that decision together.
Yeah.
Because she was ready for it.
Yeah.
She was ready for it. You remember when Rosa Parks was on the bus, wouldn't get up off the bus. Well, there was another woman that had done that in, what was that, South Carolina? But she was young
and pregnant.
Yeah.
and pregnant. So, but for the optics, that wasn't gonna do.
Right.
But Diane was a college graduate. She was a healthcare provider.
Yeah.
She had been involved in the struggle. She started out as a NAACP youth with Miss Juanita Craft. And we knew that she was going to stay true to our people.
Right.
I don't even know I was in town. If I was in town when that decision was made, but I know it was a collective decision. Of course, she had to go along with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But she pioneered that. I think her and Miss Higgins were the first revolutionaries on the city council.
Miss Higgins.
Elsie Faye Higgins. They got a street named after her in South Dallas. It used to be Hatcher. And we knew we could trust them with our people.
Was this around 70s, 80s?
Ooh, you're gonna have to.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. When did it had to be in the 70s, somewhere in the 70s, because Lip was on the city council.
Yeah.
Lip, Diane, Elsie Faye, and a guy that nobody's ever heard of, who was a revolutionary. That's why we have to determine how we define revolutionaries.
Yes.
It was a guy named Blair. He was a real estate guy.
That's Mr. Crenshaw. Mr. Crenshaw's talked to me about him quite a bit.
Yeah, he was real quiet. He wasn't controversial. But every vote that they had to make to benefit the black community, he was right on top of it. He was it was like him, Diane, Lip, Elsie Faye Higgins. They were the Fred Blair. Yeah. He was right on top of it. And he's what do you call it? An unsung hero. Yeah.
In fact, Mr. Crenshaw has he wanted us to consider honoring Mr. Fred Blair at some point.
Oh, he should be honored. He should be honored. He should be honored. That brother was a stalwart brother.
Yeah.
He was a stalwart brother. See, every revolutionary don't wear black berets or go around talking, am I black enough for you?
Right.
that's why I don't like when I hear young people say, "Well, he's a coon or he's an Uncle Tom or anything." I get back.
Yeah.
You ever heard of is it AJ Gadsden? You ever, he was a millionaire who started, I think it was called Old Reliable Life Insurance. And people call him an Uncle Tom and different stuff like that. But he was the pockets behind the SCLC's action battalion, but with the Montgomery boycott and different stuff like that. And he really didn't think Martin Luther King should be taking all that direct action. But every time Martin needed some money, he dished it out.
Yeah.
He was in the background, and people called him old Uncle Tom, or ain't nothing but old coon, white folks Negro. I don't use that N word that much, but the brother was he was in the background. He was contributing to the struggle. Yeah.
To go to 1973, and you had the police killing of Santos Rodriguez, the 12-year-old Hispanic boy, accused of stealing out a store, gets put in the back of a police car.
Yep.
Police is basically playing Russian roulette with him. Forgets there's a bullet in the gun and shoots the boy. Obviously, the Mexican American community comes out.
We came out with
and the black community comes out. And the other day I saw a video where it was like this coalition meeting between the Brown Berets. Fahim Minka was in the video.
Yep.
It was another black.
Me and Marvin should have been in there.
I can show you the video.
Well, if I'm not in there, that's fine, because I was one of those guys that was I was standing in the back.
Yeah.
And there's very few pictures of me because I just put it quite honestly, when I came in the Panther Party, I came in out of prison, and I was very concerned about the statute of limitations of some things that I hadn't been arrested for.
Right.
So I really wouldn't, I would be right up front, but I wouldn't try to, be, what they used to call that Fahim. I wasn't no TV revolutionary.
Right.
Not saying the other guys were, but their stuff was clear. They cleared up. But that wasn't what you were asking me. What were you asking me?
I was just gonna ask the coalition with the Brown Berets or just the Mexican American community.
Yeah.
Could you kind of just walk through kind of that process? Because from what I was reading, there was kind of like tension at that time because there was a certain Mexican American political organization. I think it was like LULAC.
Yeah, LULAC.
And it was, I think, GI something. But they were basically like an assimilationist kind of organization. So it's caused a lot of tension because they would pop out and kind of support the segregation of, blacks and all this. So I want to know, how did y'all go about building the coalition in spite of that?
Are you familiar with the concept of let's work on things we agree on and let's deal with the things that we disagree on later?
Right.
That was our position. That was our position. It's that's how those schisms start. Well, you're a Panther, I'm a Muslim. Oh, you're a Muslim, I'm a Pan-Africanist.
Right.
But what about the good of the people?
Right.
Now, a lot of times we would come together in those coalitions for those particular purposes, but when it came time, in other words, they would maybe temporary coalitions. Matter of fact,
that's essentially what I'm asking.
Yeah, they would like come together for the needs of that particular moment
to get the job done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is legitimate.
Right.
Which is legitimate. Yafe reminded me of something the other day. George and Johnny Johnson. Was that you brought that to my attention? George and Johnny Johnson. And I had this old brain I didn't know, I forgot all about it. But George and Johnny Johnson were killed around that same time. And the Fahim was organized, and we were organized in West Dallas then. That's when the PEST program and different things were going on. And there was an organization called the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance. And they were not about no revolutionary activity at all. But they came together to work together to try to bring accountability to those policemen that killed George and Johnny Johnson. Now, the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance were people who were considered assimilationists. But those kids that got killed were the sons of a minister who was a member of that. And so we got together and we put that together. And I was wondering, well, why didn't I remember that? Well, at that time, my son was born. I was doing a lot of organizing at El Centro. But I was beat for 2 days in the city jail during the time that all that was going on. And I think Fahim and my mother and father and Skip had decided that I should go on a sabbatical.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know my name. That's probably why I didn't remember that.
Of course, like the reaction to the marching and I think the protests downtown, you get white flight. So this has removal of the white middle class, upper middle class. I want to know about the white working class. Was it like this huge sweep across the white population, or was there segments that stayed, and was there conversation to be had with them to get them?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Remember I told you a while ago about Charlie Young?
Yeah, that was
the Bodark Patriots. That was the working class.
Okay.
That was the working class. Those were the brothers out of East Dallas, in those tenements and boarding houses and different stuff like that. They coalesced with us, but because of the inculcation of racism over a long period of time, it was really difficult to establish coalitions with Caucasians. Never have understood it because poor whites, Hispanics and blacks, if you take the racial stuff out, or natural coalition.
Yeah.
The natural coalition. How you doing? Who's that?
Kamal?
Kamal, how you doing?
Well, and yourself, Elder.
Pretty good. I apologize for not recognizing you, but when they had those games, they said, "Oh, say, can you see?" I said, "Oh, no, not me."
Elder.
Yeah, I'm legally blind, right?
I'm aware.
All right.
Love you, Elder. Yes, sir.
All right. Now you're looking at two giants right there this day and time.
Yeah.
But we won't go into that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that like Lip said. I'm not trying to blow smoke up their butts.
Yeah.
These brothers work. They do some stuff in this community. Yep. Did y'all have anything to do with Elsie Faye Higgins, or y'all just did Bottom John?
Bottom Jean.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what was your question? Remember, I'm 74. You have to keep me on track.
I was just curious about the white working class. Like, of course, what the Rainbow Coalition was like 69, and I wonder like how that might have affected organizing in Dallas when you have so many conflicting things going on at once. And is there an approach to is there the black working class approaching the white working class, like, hey, we're all underneath this elite suppression.
If it did, I didn't have any knowledge of it. Because see, we were set against each other.
Right.
We were set against each other. The black working class was always considered inferior by the white working class because you get 50 cents an hour,
Right.
and I get 60 cents an hour because I'm better than you.
Right.
And it's pitiful too because, and this is just something, in my opinion, poor whites, because of their belief in white supremacy,
Mm-hmm.
are more oppressed, I believe, than any other stratum of this country.
Right.
Because what is that Lyndon Johnson said about, Lyndon Johnson said something about,
Something about black folks. I know what you're talking
no,
about.
somebody, you tell a white man something,
Right.
and you got him for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to keep on into the illusion.
Yeah, and that's why that in the Panther Party we tried not. That's why we talked about not letting our ego subordinate our egos to the needs of the people.
Right.
And there were a lot of people who were always behind the scenes who were very, very important to the struggle. And it was real. That's why I always admired Lip, Diane, Fahim, because they didn't let their exposure, their public exposure, make them feel greater than. You know, it's like there was a concept, as a revolutionary concept, that we're all just grains of sand. We're not, no grain is either greater or lesser than another. We're just all grains of sand trying to move towards the evolution of the revolution so to be better for our people. And that's what and not just the Black Panther Party. I dug that about Jesse Jackson. People say Jesse Jackson, but that goes back to not being biased. See, I look at the effect that people have on our struggle, not whether or not they agree with me ideologically or philosophically. I want to know what effect have you had on raising not just the level of consciousness of our people, but the quality of life of our people.
And just to say one thing about Miss Ragsdale, she's still behind the scenes right now doing stuff.
Oh
Yeah, I would love to talk to her.
She even was been calling the park board to make sure we good with the Fahim Minka. Miss Ragsdale still full in effect.
Mm-hmm.
She was at the screening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's really dope.
Yeah, her and Marilyn. Have you met Marilyn? You met Marilyn though, right?
I met her at Charles Beasley's funeral, but that was the first time.
Yeah. Marilyn be riding the trail. She's still riding the trail. She does things individually. There are people who come by her house who say live in boarding homes. I was talking to her one day. She say, yeah, it's right over there. I think a guy had lived in a boarding home, but he didn't have a refrigerator, and she had a refrigerator on her back porch. And she figured out how to get it to him so that he could buy food and keep it refrigerated. That's the kind of stuff Marilyn and Diane and Vicky Washington and people do. They don't be out front. They just be doing the work of the people, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, doing the work of the people.
Let me ask you this. Since 2020, well, it really started in 2021, but really officially kicked off in 2022. You are aware because you played a role, and I've been communicating with, and Talisa just brought it up. As you know, us collectively have been working towards renaming College Park.
Yeah.
And we initially, before you guys came on the scene in 23, we were told by the park board that it wasn't going to happen.
Called him a bank robber.
Now we're at the point where it's going to happen, or at least it's going to get to the vote on January 9th, 25.
Mm-hmm.
If you could,
I feel like it's gonna happen.
yeah, if you could just kind of discuss, at least talk about how it was important for us to collaborate. Because in my experience, this is one of the many times, but important times that youth and elders were able to collaborate in order to accomplish a goal.
Well, see, those of us who are older, we were right there with Fahim doing the things that he did in our community. I think somebody said that Peter Johnson showed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the reason it's important for the for the elders, the young, everybody to get together, so because it shows a unity across the age lines. When I first plugged into Yafei, Rakim, Eric, I knew there was some young people I could work with. But it's real important that those of us who were, as a friend of mine's mother says, were eyewitnesses on the scene, we support the raising up of the names of the people who have contributed to our community. It wasn't that just Fahim started the skating rink for the kids to have somewhere to go instead of just hanging out of nowhere. That skating rink was derived from him and a group they called African American Men Against Drugs. Going through patrolling those apartments, not letting people sell drugs. The people they were going against were supposed to be some notorious cats. Out of Jamaica, they called the shower posse. And they went up against the shower posse. Fahim, Charles Beasley, Khalif Hassan, and some brothers whose names you may never know. Yeah. And see, we witnessed that. And not only that, we witnessed the work that Fahim did in organizing with the Black Panther Party. We remember the work Fahim did in working to get a police control of police deal. We recognize his work, and we know that he's worthy. He's worthy of this honor. And that's I'm talking about people that came up with him. When we were doing the Black Panther Party and all that, some of y'all probably weren't even born. But his legacy, we're concerned about his legacy being honored. Because when his legacy is honored, because of the work we did together, we're honored. Our legacy is honored. They never got to call my name. But when they say Fahim Minka Park, I know that I work with that brother. Yeah. And you know what's so ironic about it? Where that park is where I went to elementary school. It's right across from where I grew up. You ever heard of 5 Mile? You ever heard of Miller Family Reunion?
No, sir.
Like by Miller Park and stuff. I don't think they've been that way.
Miller Park. God, I can't even remember. But what I'm saying that's going on in my neighborhood, where I grew up. That's where I grew up. That gym that they built that skating rink behind, they call it Cummins Gym. Now it's named Hiawatha Williams Recreation Center.
Yeah.
I used to play basketball up there. So everything that I can do to propel the increase in the quality of life in my community, I'm obligated. I'm obligated. And that's something I think that I have to be real careful about, because a lot of times I feel like that if you are black or poor, you're obligated too. A lot of people don't realize the obligation. I don't even know who this is. Let me call you back. I'm making a movie about my life, and I'm about to get famous.